Chapter 14. Matthias and Warbeak had made slow progress. Matthias had relieved the sparrow of her brick hovel, pinning her wings to make the going easier. At intervals, the young mouse drove spikes into the joints of the stone. He was careful not to look down. It was a terrifyingly impressive distance down to the abbey floor. Only once did he risk a quick glance, not certain if the dark spots on the ground might be Methuselah watching them. There was real peril negotiating the curve at the top of the arch. Hanging tightly to the spikes he had fixed, Matthias leaned out dangerously. There was nothing but determination and the strength in his paws to stop him from plunging down to a frightening death. Gritting his teeth, he made it to the apex of the arch. He reached over the stone ledge which divided the arch from the stained glass windows above and, taking a firm grip, propelled himself upwards and sideways. His legs landed further along the ledge. With his cheek resting on the stone, he gave one last heave and rolled on to the safety of the ledge. Sitting up, Matthias knotted two ropes together. He lowered them to Warbeak, who was waiting below at the base of the arch. The sparrow looped the rope about herself. As she climbed, she aided Matthias by finding claw holds and making use of the spikes. Leaning back against the stained glass windows, they ate lunch. Warbeak gave a twittering laugh.
Matthias, old red mouse.
You should talk, Warbeak, Matthias replied. Look at yourself. You're blue all over. The bizarre effect was created by sunlight shining through the stained glass. As they ate, Warbeak would dodge her head from side to side, changing color as she did so.
Look it! Now me green, blue again. Now red like Matthias mouse.
If you don't sit still, you'll be white with fright, because you'll fall, Matthias warned. When they were sufficiently recovered to start again, Matthias tried the sandstone center rib of the window. It was carved into a profusion of curlicues and niches which made the climb considerably easier. Soon they reached the wooden ridge at the bottom of the roof curvature. It was perilously narrow. Together, they edged along it, their backs bent unsafely forward with the curve of the ceiling behind. Neither of them was aware of the inquisitive, beaked face of a sparrow who watched them from the corner of a stained glass window. It noted the would-be intruders, then flew off. Matthias drew his dagger. He stuck it into the wooden ceiling to steady himself as they halted to look for the next loft door.
I can see it,
said Matthias.
There, along to your left. You'll have to lead, Warbeak.
Gingerly, the sparrow slid her claws along the smooth wooden ridge. Suddenly, Matthias felt the dagger come free from the wood. He lost his grip and leaned outwards, teetering and waving his paws. Warbeak stopped him falling by pulling him back. The dagger went spinning down. It was a considerable time before they heard the faint clatter as it hit the abbey floor.
Gosh,
said Matthias in an odd voice.
I thought I'd had it then. I was certain I'd fall. Thanks for saving me, Warbeak.
Gradually, they inched their way along until they arrived beneath the loft door. It was too high and difficult for either of them to reach. Matthias made several attempts before he had to admit defeat. He sat upon the ridge, kicking his legs and feeling quite angry with himself. Failure stared him in the face.
A fool, that's what I am. A little fool, climbing all this way to be beaten by an old loft door.
The sparrow tapped him with her claw.
Why not, Matthias, cut Warbeak free? Then fly with sparrow wings and open little warm door.
Matthias looked blank.
Beg pardon?
Warbeak explained again.
You not listen. Warbeak say, cut wings free, fly up, and open door.
Give me your sparrow's word that you won't fly off.
Be good. Give sparrow word. Promise, no escape.
Swear by your mother's egg.
By mother's egg?
Warbeak swear.
Matthias undid the twine that pinioned the sparrow's wings, and Warbeak flapped her wings experimentally.
Long time no fly. Me good, you see?
The young sparrow launched herself off the ridge. She went into a series of zooming circles and performed a few acrobatic turns for her companion's benefit. Matthias grinned. Righto. I'm impressed. Now get back here, you little show-off, and open the door. Warbeak sped back, hovering level with the loft door as she set her claws into the latch.
Watch out! Door open! Fall on mouse!
The young mouse backed away as the sparrow released the door. It banged down hard, flapping on its hinges. This time, Matthias was aware that there would be another shower of falling dust when the door opened downwards. Wisely, he had edged sufficiently along the ridge to avoid both, with Warbeak flying behind him as a backup in case he fell. Matthias used the open door as a ladder. He was soon up through the opening. Though the inside was dull and gloomy, he could see they were in a long trench-like defile, one side of which was a fairly straight wall, while the other side was a high curving slope, the reverse side of the arched wooden ceiling. Matthias called Warbeak to him. He undid the collar and lead from the sparrow's neck, and packed them away in the haversack. He patted his flying friend. Warbeak, I can no longer keep you collared. You are a free sparrow and a very good friend. The young sparrow blinked her fierce little eyes.
Matthias, my mouse friend. I no leave. Stay with you.
Together, they spent several minutes searching the high ceiling above. Warbeak, having the advantage of flight, was first to find the final trapdoor that they had guessed must exist. It was not a hard climb for Matthias, merely an excited and rather undignified scramble up the curving wooden roof back. This time, they found that the door opened inwards. It was really heavy. The two companions strained together until it creaked loudly and opened. Matthias scrambled through, followed by Warbeak. They found themselves completely surrounded by sparrows as the door slammed shut behind them. The birds argued and chattered aloud as they sprang upon Matthias, pinning him to the lid of the door with many claws. He was unable to move a single whisker. As quickly as it had started, the noise ceased. The flock of birds parted. Matthias found himself staring straight into the bold, aggressive face of a big, strong-looking male sparrow. The bird glared at him with a crazy light in its bright, mad eyes.
Mouseworm, you my prisoner. This court of sparrow, me, King Bull Sparrow.